Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope that you guys are all doing amazing. So, learn to not have expectations for others. What do I mean by that? Sometimes when we can have such an expectation for other people, these are expectations that we are putting on them. It's not necessarily who they are. It's not necessarily even what they can do. It's simply what we're putting on them. So it's almost as if I'm saying, hey, be this. I need you to operate from this level. I need you to do this. Right? And I know what you guys are thinking, like, oh, okay, well, at work, there's certain expectations for us to be on time and to do our job and things like that, right? Yes. But get the message. Follow me along. Sometimes we can have an expectation for others that they don't even have to give. It's simply like withdrawing $1 million, or you're trying to withdraw $500, $1,000 from an account that's on negative. What do you think you're going to get from this? You're not going to get much. And so I have learned to not expect people to show up the way I think they should. I have learned to allow people to just show up as they show up. Because if I say, well, hey, you're based on a title that they hold in my life, well, hey, you're this, you should be showing up at a 75. You should be showing up at a 55. You should be showing up at an 89. So let's just say the scale is from 1 to 100. You should be showing up at a 79 or an 89. Well, really, this individual doesn't even have the wherewithal or even the capacity to even show up at a 20. But because of the title that they hold in my life, or where they are, or where I think they are, I'm giving them more. And I'm giving them way more yard than they can even hold. And as a result of that causes one to pull you out of joy. It immediately evokes or emits disappointment, anger, frustration. And these are all things that pulls you out of your joy. It's not to say that life is going to be some fairy tale, because everyone living knows that's not true. And that's whether you walking with God or not, right? But there are things that we do have a little more control of to not bring about unnecessary emotional, hardship or frustration, etc. We do have a little more control of that, and a lot of that has to do with what we are expecting people to do and be. It makes a huge difference. Just this weekend, I was speaking to someone about this, and I had to say to her, maybe you're expecting more than she can even give. And because of who this person is to her, she automatically has almost like this person on the pedestal because of who she is to her. But that doesn't mean anything. And this is how you'll know where I'm coming from. How many times have you expected someone to show up a certain way and they didn't? Hold on. But then the person that you least expect, the person that you would have never even expected to show up, maybe even at all, that's the person that's bending over backwards, jumping hurdles, doing everything you need them to be and do. Because that's the person you didn't have any expectation for. Yet that's the person that's showing up, coming through overtime for you. So save yourself the disappointment. Keep yourself in a better, emotional state. Save yourself, the pain and the frustration. Save yourself all of that. Don't listen. The only person you want to have any kind of expectation for is God. And when I mean expectation, that way, that context of expectation, when I say God, is simply of who God is. Of who God is and what God can and will do, but simply just for who he is. Because even God has his own way of showing up. And sometimes God's way of showing up ain't and is not always how we want or intend or envision him to show up. You see? So if that can even go, we don't know how God is going to bless us. We don't know how God's going to move. We don't know who God is going to use. We don't know how God is going to come through. We don't know when God is going to come through. So we could say, oh, well, God, I'm expecting you to move in the next 3 days. And God like, girl, I don't move when you tell me to move. I don't work for you. And God may not move on that matter until 4 years. Because that's 4 years is nothing to God. God is out of space and time. So he's just like, look, what's 4 years to me? About something you've been praying for diligently daily. God probably don't get ready to move on it until maybe 4 years later, 5 years later. Who knows? We'll see. God don't move when you say move. Okay? So even that expectation. So I'm just saying this to say, this is a word, this is a message for somebody. Take people off pedestals and sometimes don't have such a great expectation. You rob yourself. You lose when you do that. It's just a fact. Learn to see people for who they are and allow people to show up the way they can. Okay? And however that is, hey, acknowledge that and accept whatever and however that looks. Okay? I love you guys. And until my next video. Bye.